Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be showing you how to crochet a super soft fluffy snowman plushie using faux fur yarn. It's a great tutorial and it's perfect if you want a cozy winter plushie or just something to decorate your house so it doesn't look so empty after the holidays. So in this tutorial I'm using faux fur yarn. In this case this is Lion's brand Feels Like Bliss. This is actually quite friendly yarn. I previously made a reindeer pillow with Michael's faux fur yarn, and that one is basically like crocheting completely blind. You can't see any of your stitches, you only have to go by feel. If you do want to watch that, I will put that the video link to that one in the description box. But the Lion brand yarn is much easier. I managed to crochet in the front loops only and even do an invisible decrease without any problems. So I think it's a great project and great yarn if you're looking to try working with faux fur yarn or struggled with it in the past. Here is everything we're going to need to make this project. So as I mentioned, we're going to use Lion's brand Feel Like Bliss faux fur yarn in the color white. I also use light yarn to make the details like the nose and the arms. The orange one is, I believe you pronounce it Scapies, don't quote me on that, but it's Color Crafter in the color Gent. And for the arms I use Peyton's Astra in the color Medium Tan. For the hooks, for the fluffy snowman, I used a 3.5mm hook to use with the faux fur. And for the light yarn, I went down to just a 3mm hook because I like a tighter stitch. And I'm also going to need stitch markers, scissors, stuffing materials, and lastly I use 12mm safety eyes for the eyes and 3 10mm safety eyes to make the buttons of the snowman. Okay, so we're now ready to crochet our snowman. We're going to start with a white fur with a mat, and we're going to start by making a magic circle and crocheting 6 single crochet in the magic circle. I'm going to start my first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to pull a tail and close the hole. Round 2 is an increase round. That means we're going to make an increase in each of the stitch rounds. So 2 single crochets in each of the stitches. I'm going to start by making 1 single crochet and placing my stitch marker. I'm going to go back in the same stitch and doing a second single crochet. Same thing on the second stitch. 2 single crochet in the stitch. And as you can see, I like to yarn or crochet over the tail of the magic circle. I just think it's make it a bit more secure for some reason, and I can pull it tighter at the end as well. But yeah, so this round is just an increase round. 2 single crochet in each of the stitch round, and our final count at the end of this round will be 12 stitches. Okay, for round 3 we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch followed by an increase in the second stitch. So here I just made my first single crochet, placing my stitch marker, and in the second stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet in this one, so 1 and 2. This is our increase, and we do that around. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch followed by an increase, so 2 single crochet in this one, 1 single crochet in the next stitch followed by 2, 1 and 2 in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch followed by an increase, so 1, 2, again 1 single crochet in the next stitch followed by an increase, 1 and 2, last one single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to finish in our last stitch with an increase, so 2 single crochet in this one. At the end of this round will be a count stitch of 18. For round 4, we'll be following a pattern of 2 single crochets followed by an increase. So I just made my first single crochet, place my stitch marker. In the next stitch I'm going to do another single crochet. In our third stitch I'll be doing my increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet in that stitch. Again, 1 single crochet, followed by another single crochet, followed by our increase. 1 single crochet, going back for my second single crochet in the same stitch. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. Again, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and our increase. So 1, going back for 2. You can continue that around. At the end of round 4, we will be at 24 stitches. For round 5, we'll be doing 3 single crochets followed by our increase. So my first single crochet in the first stitch, second stitch another single crochet, and third stitch another single crochet. In the fourth stitch we'll be doing an increase, so 1 single crochet, going back for a second one. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and our increase, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. So again, 3, 1, 2, 3 single crochets, followed by our increase, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. This is round 5. At the end of round 5, we will have a count stitch of 30. For round 6, we'll be doing 4 single crochets followed by our increase. So here's my first single crochet, second single crochet in the next stitch, and third single crochet in the next stitch, fourth single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our increase, 1 and 2 in the next stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets, followed by our increase. So 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by our increase, 1 and 2. So you can repeat that pattern of 4 single crochets followed by our increase. At the end of round 6, we will be at 36 stitches. Okay, for round 7 to 12, we're going to simply do a single crochet in each of the stitch around. So just 1 single crochet, no increase, in each of the stitch around. So we're going to do that for round 7, for round 8, for round 9, for round 10, for round 11, and round 12. So that's 6 rounds that we will be doing just 1 single crochet each stitch, keeping our stitch count at 36. So that's me back at the end of round 12. This is what your snowman should start to look like. This is actually the head of the snowman that we're crocheting. And next we're going to stop for a second to insert the eyes. I placed my eyes on between rounds 10 and 11. So we just crocheted round 12. So you can go up 2 rows and insert one of the eyes. And it's sometimes hard to see with all the fluffy yarn, but that's why I'm using my hook to show you. I think I placed them around about 6 stitches apart. I put the second eye. And then make sure that the backing is nice and secure, and we will be back to crochet round 13. Round 13 will be our first decrease round. We're going to start by doing 4 single crochet followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch, and in the next 2 stitches we're going to do a decrease. I like to do an invisible decrease. That's what I'm doing here in the next 2. So then we do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then our decrease in the next 2 stitches. So for my invisible decrease, I like to grab through the front loops only, then you yarn over those 2 stitches, and then yarn over again to create the invisible decrease. So 4 single crochet, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by our decrease in the next 2 stitches, and again 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, oops, let's try that again, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, followed by our decrease. So you can follow that pattern around of 4 single crochet followed by a decrease, and at the end of this round we'll be down to a count stitch of 30. For round 14 we'll be doing 3 single crochet this time, followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, and stitch 4 and 5 we're going to do a decrease. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our decrease in the next 2 stitches. Again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our decrease. If you're unsure where your stitches are, you can put your finger kind of under where you think the stitch is, and you can kind of feel with your fingers the holes. That way, if you feel kind of lost, you can find your stitch again. You can see me sometimes doing that on the video. So for this round 14, we are doing 3 single crochet followed by a decrease, and at the end of this round we will be down to a count stitch of 24. Round 15 is 2 single crochet followed by a decrease. So here's my first single crochet in this first stitch. In the second stitch we're going to do another single crochet, and in the next 2 stitches, so 3 and 4, we're going to do our decrease. So again, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease in the next 2 stitches. Again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and our decrease using the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 15, we'll be down to a count of 18 stitches. So after round 15, we're going to stop just for a second And we're gonna start stuffing our head. You can fully stuff the head, and then we will be ready to move on to the body, the second ball of the snowman. For round 16, we'll be crocheting in the front loops only, and we'll be doing 2 single crochet followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Make sure you only get the front loops of your stitch. So this is the second stitch, and on the third stitch, using the front loop only, I'm going to increase. So 1 single crochet, going back in the same stitch, front loop only, to do a second single crochet. So again, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and our increase in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and going back for a second single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet, in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, in the next stitch or increase, so 2 single crochet in this one, 1, going back for 2, again 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and our increase, so 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. So keep that pattern of 2 single crochet followed by an increase in the front loops only, and at the end we'll be at a stitch count of 24. For round 17, we're back crocheting in the 2 loops, and we'll be doing 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, then our increase, 1 and 2, in the next stitch 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 single crochet, followed by our increase, so 2 single crochet in this one, 1 and 2. One more time, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 3, followed by our increase, 1 and 2. So at the end of round 17, following the pattern of 3 single crochet and our increase, we will be at a count stitch of 30. Round 18 will be 4 single crochet followed by our increase. We start by 1 single crochet in the first stitch. I'm trying to locate my stitch here. So 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch. On the fifth stitch, it's our increase, so 2 single crochet in this one. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, let's try again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our increase, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. So again, 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets, followed by our increase, so 1 and 2. At the end of round 18, we will be at a count stitch of 36. For round 19, we'll be doing 5 single crochets following by an increase. Here's my first single crochet, another one in the next stitch for 2, another one in the next stitch for 3, another one in the next stitch for 4, another one in the next stitch for 5, and then we're increasing in the next. So 1 and 2. Again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, and next one is our increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet, followed by our increase, 1 and 2. At the end of round 19, we'll be at a count stitch of 42. Round 6 will be 6 single crochets, followed by an increase. So in the first stitch, 1 single crochet. In the second stitch, 1 single crochet. In the third stitch, 1 single crochet. In the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet. In the fifth stitch, 1 single crochet. On the sixth stitch, 1 single crochet. On the seventh stitch, we'll be doing an increase, so 2 single crochet in this one. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next one will be an increase. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second single crochet. So follow that pattern of 6 single crochets, followed by an increase. And at the end of round 20, we'll be at a count stitch of 48. For rounds 21 to 27, we're simply going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitch around. So just 1 single crochet in each of our stitches, keeping it a count of 48 per round. So we're going to do 1 single crochet on each stitch for round 21, round 22, round 23, round 24, round 25, round 26, and for round 27. So that's 7 rounds of we're simply going around to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. I will meet you back at the end of round 27 to show you what it looks like. So this is the end of round 27 for me. I have a couple stitches left. You can see our body is starting to take shape. And here's our little snowman. For round 28, we're going to start a decrease round. This one will be doing 6 single crochets followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet, placing my stitch marker. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. 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 And in the next stitch, 1 single crochet. So that's 6 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. I'm trying to find where the stitches. In the next 2, we're going to do a decrease. Again, I'm doing an invisible decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets, followed by a decrease using the next 2 stitches. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, followed by a decrease. And if you follow that pattern around, at the end of this round, we should be back to a count stitch of 42. For round 29, we'll be doing 5 single crochets followed by our decrease. So 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet, in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch, 1 single crochet for 5 single crochets, and the next 2 stitches are decrease. So again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 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 followed by our decrease. One last time, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and our decrease. Repeat that 3 more times. Oops, let me try again with the decrease. Repeat that 3 more times, and at the end of round 29 we'll be down to a count stitch of 36. For round 30 we'll be doing 4 single crochets followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 single crochet, in the next stitch 1 single crochet. Using the next 2 stitches we're going to do our decrease, then back to 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. So that's 4 single crochets followed by our decrease. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by our decrease. And at the end of round 30 we'll be down to a count stitch of 30. So we're going to stop here for a second and start stuffing the body just to get a better idea of what our snowman looks like, and so we can place our button as well. So for the button I tried to aim to go kind of in between the eyes, try to center them in between the eyes on the body. That's why it's helpful to have the body a little bit stuffed, so we have a better understanding of what our snowman's going to look like. And I kind of fiddled around a little bit, making sure they were centered and looking good. I think don't like that one in the middle. But mine ended up being just under around 21, 25, and 28. So around 3 rows between each buttons. And once you're happy with the location of the buttons, make sure you fasten them really well. So for round 31 we are continuing our decrease. This time we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by a decrease. So here's my first single crochet, second single crochet, third single crochet, followed by a decrease using the next 2 stitches. Again, trying to find my stitch now. So 1, 2, 3 single crochets followed by a decrease. Again, 1, 2, and 3, followed by a decrease. At the end of round 31 we will be down to a count stitch of 24. For round 32 now we're doing 2 single crochets followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, followed by a decrease using the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease. One last time, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease. So at the end of round 32, we are down to a count stitch of 18. Round 33 is 1 single crochet followed by a decrease. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, followed by a decrease using the next 2 stitches. One single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a decrease. So continue the pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, to be down to a count stitch of 12 at the end of round 33. Before we complete the last round, we're going to stop for a second and finish stuffing the snowman. So if there's still space, you can add stuffing and make sure it's nice and firm. Okay, so round 34 is the last round, and we're just going to do decreases in this round. So using the next 2 stitches, 1 decrease. Sorry, it's quite slippery on my table. Then our second decrease using the next 2 stitches. Third decrease using the next 2 stitches. Fourth decrease using the next 2 stitches. This will be 5. Let me try again. This will be 5. And finally 6. So now you can cut the yarn. We are done with snowman. I'm going to cut your yarn, leaving a little tail so we can close the hole. So next we're going to close the remaining hole shut. If you have one, you can use a needle with a large eye opening. I didn't have one of those available, so I'm just using my hook to weave the yarn back and forth through the hole, then pull the yarn, close it, and then kind of get the yarn and weave it through the snowman a couple of times as you would do with a needle. After you've done that a few times, it's nice and secure, you can cut off your yarn and we'll move on to the carrot nose. So for the nose, since I'm using light yarn, I went down through a 3mm hook. And for the first round of the nose, we're going to do 6 single crochet in the magic circle. This is my first single crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to find our tail and close the hole. For round 2, we're just going to do a single crochet in each of the 6 stitches. So we'll keep our stitch count at 6. 1 single crochet in the first stitch. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Again, you see I'm crocheting over the tail of the magic circle. 1 single crochet in the third stitch. 1 single crochet in the 4th stitch, 1 single crochet in the 5th stitch, and 1 single crochet in the 6th stitch. And here I like to pull the tail again to make sure it's nice and tight and secure. So for round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet in the 1st stitch, followed by our increase, so 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our increase, 1 and 2, and again 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by our increase in the last stitch for a count of 9 stitches at the end of round 3. Round 4 is our last round for the nose, and we're simply going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitch around. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 3, that's 4, and 5 single crochet, 6 single crochet, 7, 8, and our last one is 9. After that, we can cut our yarn and leave a long tail for sewing. Next up, we'll be doing the arms. We're going to start by crocheting the fingers. So here I'm using a 3mm hook and brown yarn. I'm going to start by making a magic circle and single crochet 4 single crochet into the magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, we're going to find our tail and close the hole. So for rounds 2 to 4, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitch around, keeping our stitch count at 4 stitches per round. It's a little bit fiddly because the piece is quite small. It also has a tendency to kind of curl, so make sure that you place the stitches in the right place. So this is my 2nd stitch. I'm going to do a 3rd one and a 4th one to complete round 2. I'm going to do the same for round 3 and for round 4. So this is the end of round 4. That's 1 finger completed. And I'm gonna take my stitch marker out, and I'm gonna use scissors to kind of push the extra, I think that's the tail from my magic ring at the beginning. I'm just gonna push that in. You can cut it away as well, but I'm just gonna push it in. And then you can create 2 more fingers, but for the 3rd one, make sure that the yarn is still attached. So don't cut the yarn on the 3rd finger. So you want to create 3 fingers, keeping the yarn attached on the 3rd finger. So for round 5, we're going to attach the fingers together. We're going to start with the finger that still has the yarn attached. And we're going to start by making 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet. I'm going to place my stitch marker to keep track of where I am. And in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. Then I'm going to grab a second finger, and in 1 stitch I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch I'm going to do 1 single crochet. Then I'm going to grab the third finger, and again I'm going to go into my hook in a stitch. I'm going to do 1 single crochet, two single crochet, and we're actually going to do a third and a fourth single crochet as well, 2 single crochet all around that finger. So in that finger we're going to have 4 single crochet. This is my third one. I should have one more. So now we should be back on the other side of the middle finger, and on that middle finger should be 2 stitches left to crochet into. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in one of the stitches of the middle finger, and then there should be 1 more stitch left to the middle finger. We'll do 1 single crochet into that one, and then we'll be back on the first finger, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in its next stitch, and there should be 1 more single crochet, 1 more stitch, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in that last stitch. So doing all that, we'll have a stitch count of 12. So for round 6, we're just going to do a single crochet in each of the stitch around, keeping our stitch count at 12. So just 1 single crochet in each of the stitch around. So 1 single crochet, putting my stitch marker, then in the next stitch another single crochet, next stitch another single crochet, next stitch another single crochet. So do that all around until you have a single crochet in each of the stitch and have a count of 12 at the end of this round. So for round 7, we're going to decrease all around, so our stitch count is back at 6 at the end of this round. So we're going to do a decrease in the next 2 stitches. That's our first decrease. Then a decrease in the next 2 stitches. That's our second decrease. Another decrease for a third one. So it'll be our fourth decrease. Our fifth one. And one last decrease for 6 stitches at the end of round 7. For rounds 8 till 12, just going to do a single crochet round, keeping our stitch count at 6. And we're going to build the arm of our snowman. So just one single crochet in each of the stitch around, keeping our stitch count at 6, and we'll be doing that for rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 5 rounds, one single crochet in each of the stitches. So here's me back at the end of round 12. Just have a couple stitches left. And the last one. And this is what our arms will look like. Now we can cut the yarn, again leaving a tail for attaching the arms to the body. And create a second arm. And we'll be ready to assemble everything. For the assembly, I started with the nose. I kind of lined the nose with the buttons to make sure it was centered with everything, and just sewed it into place. And the last thing to do is to sew in the arms. So find a position that you like for them, and yeah, just sew them in. And after that, you're all done. There you have it, your perfect little fluffy snowman. If you love this tutorial, please like and share this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I will also leave the link to the reindeer pillow tutorial that I did if you're looking for something a little bit more challenging working with faux fur yarn. Again, thanks so much for watching and stopping by, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.